And we're live.
Hi,
Hello,
I love
Mary.
seeing the photos, the intro clip. I knew
Yeah.
a lot of those people, so that was pretty cool. I
Yeah,
liked
you've
it.
probably seen them on America's Most Wanted. So
Oh, I wasn't gonna say that since we're live, but yeah, Amanda and making, yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Hi,
So,
Mary. Welcome to the
Good
show.
morning.
I
Good
have
morning.
I have to
Yes?
say really fast. It was so fabulous meeting you when you were in San Diego.
Yes, that was so much fun. Thank you, Tim, for saying, can I bring my partner, my friend, my co-host? I was like,
Yep.
yeah, you know me. Everyone come. The more, the merrier. So if you come next year, every year I do a dinner before social media starts so that people, when they're out of town, we can just kind of gather and I get to meet new people.
It's
Like
amazing.
you.
and she's got an obsession with accents. So
I
really
do.
doesn't bud.
So I used to have a lunch called Lunch with an Accent, and you had to have an accent to come. But Chrissy bucked her way into that lunch the second year. I think it was the second year. She's like, "Can I come?" I'm like, she goes, "I'll talk with an accent."
Does she have a
Anyway.
Midwest accent? It might work.
It had to be like a real foreign accent, like Australia, England.
Thank you,
Ooh.
Chioma. Hi, Chioma.
It is very pretty.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right. Now, enough of this tittle tattle. Let's talk about the main thing, which is LinkedIn. Now, I know you're chomping at the bit, so to speak, to talk about all the wonderful new features that LinkedIn has got recently. But let's say that Christelle is a humble llama farmer who's never used social media in her life before, and she hears about this LinkedIn thing. What is LinkedIn, and why should people consider using it? Just as a general thing, just the man on the street.
That'd be a great place to start.
Yeah.
So what is LinkedIn? It is the business, I would say it's the professional social media site. And to clue you in, LinkedIn was actually built to be a networking platform, not a sales platform, not a get a job platform, because in the early, when it first came out, I want to say that it was known as the platform you go to find a job, right? Or as we say, it's where resumes go to die now. Right? That's our joke. Resumes go to die on LinkedIn, but it's really built as a networking platform. So if you want to grow your professional network, LinkedIn is definitely the platform to be on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of companies use it to recruit, and that's kind of what I've seen happen. What is the right way to use LinkedIn correctly? Because there's been conversation about profiles. There's been conversation about pictures. How do I know if I'm doing it right or wrong?
You hire me or another trusted LinkedIn expert. I'm just kidding. So actually, there are a lot of LinkedIn trainers out there that, okay, so what happened is in 2020, when the world stopped and everyone's like, oh, snap, I need to get on LinkedIn because that's where my potential clients are, right? So all of a sudden people became LinkedIn trainers when they're social media managers, and the platform is very different from the other social media platforms. And so a lot of people, we call it the spray and play, spam messages, all of that. So how I teach is all organic, right? It's all relationship based. So you want to create, the first thing is create a rock star profile. Don't be boring. Don't copy anyone, but be inspired by others that are in your niche or industry. I always like to tell people that, yes, it's a professional platform, but you got to infuse some personality, because at the end of the day, whether you're getting hired or looking for clients, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. I can't know, like, and trust you if I can't find you on LinkedIn because you're not there or you have a crappy profile. Am I allowed to say that? Crappy?
Yeah.
Crappy profile. Yeah. And you need to, just fill the entire thing out from top to bottom, left to right, background banner, a great headline. So let's say you're an executive assistant looking for a job. LinkedIn's a great place to put your profile up, but please don't put just the title as executive assistant. There's like 5 million of those, right? So stand out. I always tell people, when you're creating your headline, tell me what you do, who you work with, and how you do it. Like, what's the benefit? So an executive assistant could be, I'm the cat herder. right? I'm the cat herder of paper and people,
Yeah.
right? So that gets your attention. Now, of course, you want to have that keyword in your headline so you'll come up in a search, but you've got, what is it now, 220 characters? Use them all because it's valuable real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What, in terms of posting stuff on LinkedIn, because this is where I've been terrible at, mainly because it's kind of, I post more on LinkedIn than I do on Pinterest, but that's not saying much. What sort of things should people be posting, and how often should they be posting on LinkedIn?
So it is a different platform. So it's not like Instagram or Facebook where I'm posting pictures of cheeseburgers and my cats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to understand every platform has their place. So you should be educating your network, inspiring your network, and entertaining them a little bit at a time. So it shouldn't be all buy a ticket, come to my show. We all have shows, right? I'm not saying that you can't promote stuff, but you need to share instead of sell.
Yeah.
So share, like I'll share LinkedIn tips or live streaming tips. We have a show called The B Show now, and that's where it's free career advice every Monday morning. So I'm, educating my audience. I'm not asking them to buy anything. And then I do inspiring posts. And then I share some personal stuff because again, people need to know who I am so they can trust me, so they can like me, so they can maybe do business with me or even just connect with me. And so I like to throw out this simple rule: 80% business, 20% personal. The personal posts, those are the ones that really go viral. I wrote one called The Promise. It was something that I've had in my wallet since I was 34 years old. And Viveka Hess had done a personal post and I commented on it. I said, well, I might share something that's similar, but I have to think about it. And I had people write back because it was a very personal story saying, I never knew that about you. Thank you for sharing that. So those personal posts, if written the right way, can attract a lot of attention and start a lot of conversations.
Okay. So do we spend time on LinkedIn commenting as we would Facebook or Instagram?
You should spend more time on LinkedIn commenting, okay? Because that is where I always tell people my 3C method is connect, cultivate, convert.
Yeah.
Connect is not just about adding someone to your network. It's about adding them to the network, but then adding, commenting on their posts. And I like to start the conversations in the comments. So especially, right, there is a company in San Diego, a very big company, and I wanted to get in front of the CEO. The CEO posted on LinkedIn, and I love this company. So I commented. We started a conversation there, and then I sent him a connection request. Why? Because I was top of mind and tip of tongue, right? My name, every time you comment, your name and your headline or title shows up, or at least part of it. And so my name was in his feed, and we had this little conversation back and forth in the comments, and he immediately accepted my connection request. Now, he has no idea I'm going to ask him for a sponsorship down the road, but I'm just throwing that out there. So there's a strategic way, right? When you're commenting and starting that conversation on the comments, it's so much easier to connect with that person. So if you're not connected with them, and if you're already connected with them, you want to see their posts in your feed. So commenting, that tells the algorithm, hey, Mary really likes Tim's posts on LinkedIn. Let's keep showing those to her.
That leads me to ask another question. So we don't just randomly request connections. You're saying build a little bit of a rapport before you ask for a connection.
Yes, it's a good strategy if you have a lower. So I typically don't have a problem with people accepting my connection requests for a couple of reasons. I think I have a pretty strong profile, although it needs to be updated. There's a pro tip. You should update your LinkedIn profile at least once a year because things change. you have new services, you're at a new job, you've got a new brand that you're working with, right? So at least once a year. But if you have a stellar profile and you have a strong network, right?
Mhm.
So over a couple thousand people will be like, oh, Christelle is got a great profile. I understand what she does. She has a strong network. She's going to add value to my network, right?
Mhm.
And so it's easier for people to say yes. So if you're like still building your network, comment on someone and then send them that connection request. You're also providing value to that person by commenting on their posts.
Right. So we talked about LinkedIn a bit. Let's talk about all the shiny new stuff. What's all the
Oh
new
my
stuff
gosh.
happening on LinkedIn that's exciting you so much that you were
I
like,
know,
I want to talk about the new stuff?
Okay, so here's why. When I started working on LinkedIn
Yeah.
and I started talking about it, I would call it the ugly duckling of the social media platforms.
Yeah.
It was clunky, it wasn't user friendly, and people did not want to hang out there. Right.
Mm.
That was like 2017. But now it's grown into this beautiful swan full of new features and functionality. That's my big thing. Like I've seen how it's been transformed. Last year, you guys, LinkedIn released 40 new features.
Hmm.
And that's a lot of work. If you're listening to the show and you're like, well, yeah, okay, that's great. But you guys don't understand, there's 800 million users and they're tweaking. I always say the hamsters are over on the hamster wheels, turning things, right? Creating these new features. And they were good features. Does LinkedIn need to release more features? Absolutely. And they're working on it. So this year, in January, they released the Ring My Bell notification. So right under someone's background banner on their profile, there's a little gold bell. And if you click on that, we call it Ring My Bell. So y'all go to my profile and ring my bell, and then you'll get notifications of when I post or go live. It's not 100%. They're still working on it, but probably 80% of the time it works. So you'll get, hey, Mary Fain Brandt is going live. You'll get a notification. So the people that you really want to stay engaged with and follow their content, ring their bell. So that's a pretty cool new feature. And then my favorite, there's the cover story video. Do you guys have that?
I think I haven't created one yet. It's a little thumbnail thing, isn't it?
On your profile, your headshot, right? Mm-hmm. You can create a cover video story, right? And I believe it's 20 seconds. Someone might have said it was up to 30, but I don't believe so. And you just do it on your phone though. You got to do it here. It's not on desktop. It's mobile only. And you just sit and record it. You can tell a joke. I have some people that tell a joke. Go to mine. You guys, if you're watching this, go to my LinkedIn profile, look at my profile photo. It'll turn into the cover story. Click on it to hear it. And then you can send me a connection request, or you can just send me a message because I ask a specific question in there. So you could do that to engage your audience, right? It doesn't have to be, hi, I'm Mary Fain Brandt, a LinkedIn strategist. Are you failing on LinkedIn? Let's talk. Like that's salesy and right? Do something different that captures their attention, that makes them laugh and go, hey, that chick's pretty cool. Let me check out her profile, right?
Yeah.
So I love that feature. And then my other favorite one is LinkedIn audio. Have you guys attended a LinkedIn audio event?
No, tell us about it, Mary.
Yeah.
We need to know.
Okay. So I'm in the creator program, so I get early access to features. And so I do have LinkedIn audio event, and it is like Clubhouse, but better because it's on LinkedIn. Yeah. And that's where my community is, right? So LinkedIn audio, it's in beta test. So it's a creator mode. So a few of us have it. Beth Granger has it. Judy Fox doesn't have it, but she hosts a room with someone else who does have it. We host a show every Monday called The B Show for our career people at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And what it is, it's a podcast, but better because you can bring people up on stage, like on Clubhouse, and they can ask questions, share tips, give their own experience. And that's what we're doing on Mondays is we're inviting people up from the audience. We always have a topic. something that we're going to share, resumes, branding, Gen X workforce, but then we can bring people up to ask questions, to give their experience. But what's great is everybody that is in the audience listening, you can hover over their photo and you can view their profile and you can message them even if you're not connected.
Mm.
Right. So a third degree connection.
Yeah.
So on LinkedIn, first level, right? We're connected. Tim, you and I are first level. Are we connected on LinkedIn, Crystal?
Mary, I am a failure at LinkedIn.
We'll work on that later.
This is why you're here.
Yeah. So Tim and I are first. Christelle and I are not connected, but because we're both connected to Tim, we'll say she'd be a second degree. A third degree connection on LinkedIn is someone that I have no mutual connection and we're not connected. So when you're in an audio room, you can actually message anybody that's listening. And I've had some people message me, and I've messaged a couple of people. Hey, I saw that you were, who did it? Like Judy Fox's audio room. I'm in there too. Checked out your profile. I'd love to connect with you. Right. It's so when you're sending that connection request, don't make it salesy. Even if you're like looking at LinkedIn, like, hey, Christelle, I see that you could use help on your LinkedIn profile. Would you like to get some more leads? Let me show how to do that in 30 days. No, thank you. That doesn't work. Hey, Christelle, Mary here. I know that, Tim, and we saw each other at Social Media Marketing World. Here's my line. I love adding savvy businesswomen to my network. Let's connect. Works like a charm. Flattery. But I just keep it short and sweet, right?
Well, and it sounds so much better than your profile needs help.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a negative message, right? And I don't care how you spin that, even if you don't say your profile needs help. So I tell people, treat LinkedIn, that's your online network. Treat them like you would your in person. I'm not going to walk up to someone. Hi, I'm Mary Fain Brandt. I'm a LinkedIn strategist and career coach. Hi, I'm Mary. Oh, like when we met at dinner.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Crystal, nice to meet you. So, you're in San Diego? Awesome. You should meet my friend Shelly here because she's in San Diego, right? I introduced you to my girl Shelly and we talked about what you did. Have a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really curious about the LinkedIn. What is it called again? Where you can have the conversation? Audio. Because they're doing it. They have Clubhouse. They were the people who began this whole trend. Then Twitter jumped on board.
Twitter Spaces, yeah.
Twitter Spaces jumped on board. And now you're saying there's LinkedIn. Can you tell us the vast difference with LinkedIn?
Well, I'm not on Twitter Spaces, so I can't tell you the difference. Okay. Here's why it works for someone like me and anyone else on LinkedIn. I don't have to go to another platform. My community, my professional community, and a lot of people that are just cool friends like you guys, right? We're on LinkedIn. That's where I'm having conversations. That's where I'm doing business. That's where I'm learning, right? I go to LinkedIn to learn too from people in different industries. And so I don't have to go to Clubhouse. I'm staying right there. And then I'm adding people to my network when they're listening to an audio event and we're not connected. Or it brings someone that I haven't seen in a while, right? Oh, look, there's Christelle in the audio room. Hey, girl, how you doing? It's been a while. Let's jump on a Zoom. Right. So I really feel that LinkedIn is really becoming this premier platform. They have the feature that was released 48 hours ago on the LinkedIn audio rooms. There's now closed captioning.
Oh, wow.
Oh, take that. Take that, Clubhouse. I don't think Clubhouse has that, do they?
I don't think Twitter Spaces has that.
Okay. Ching, ching, ching. And in the creator group, like every Sunday, there's a town hall about LinkedIn audio, and we have a laundry list of what we want. We want a co-host. They're not recorded right now. Can we get a recording? We don't need it cleaned up. We just want a recording of it. We have a list of these features, and I think that they're listening because we have closed captioning already. And
is it something you can only do on mobile, or can you do it on desktop?
No, desktop or mobile.
Well, that's better than Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, I've done it both ways. I'm typically at my desk. So I'm using desktop. But if I'm listening to someone else's audio, like I'm not the host, I'll do it on this.
Yeah.
We got home Sunday from the lake, and it was the LinkedIn. They had the audio town hall. And so we're literally unloading our car. And I have it in my pocket on. And my husband's like, "Are you really listening to that?" I'm like, "Yes, I have to listen to this so I can walk around, right, and listen to it on my phone." And that's, when I learned that closed captioning was coming out.
So we've talked about the really new, shiny, exciting things. Are there any features of LinkedIn that people shouldn't worry about at all anymore? Are there any parts of LinkedIn that are now irrelevant, basically, or you've never seen anybody have any success with them whatsoever?
So video is still good on LinkedIn. Company pages work. So I just had Michelle Raymond on my show last week, I think it was, about company pages. It takes a lot of work to make a company page. Do you need a company page if you're a business owner? Absolutely. It adds that credibility and visibility. Do I want to put all that time and effort in? Probably not. So they work, but you have to put a lot of time and effort to building it up. Skills and endorsements, right? That's not a recommendation. Recommendations you need, because that's someone writing about who you are, whether you're a job seeker or a business owner. They're, giving you a recommendation of your services or your talents, right? The skills thing, I don't know that anybody, I don't go to a profile and say, "Ooh, what does Tim have listed as his skills?" Now, as a job seeker, that might help a little bit, but I wouldn't spend like my time there. I would spend my time creating, a rock star profile, a strong and strategic network, and content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your view on LinkedIn articles? Because I've always liked LinkedIn articles, but I've only ever written one about every quarter or so.
Well, I think they have a place and a purpose. Their longevity is why they're great. So if someone falls on your profile and they want to learn more about you, they can go over to your articles. So I think creating articles is great. Once a month is great. You'd have 12 articles a year. It's not really hard, right, Tim? I mean, it's not, I don't do a lot of articles, but it adds a little more credibility to what you're doing if you write them right. And, put some images or links in there. Don't make it all just text. Nobody likes all text. I don't care what people say. They don't like it. We're visual creatures.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious about your show, Mary. Can you tell us a little bit more about your shows that you do directly on LinkedIn?
Sure. So I have 15 minutes of Fain. That's me, the Fain, every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And that is a 15-minute weekly show where I'm sharing one tip. It's usually LinkedIn. It could be a business product or an app that I'm reviewing, but just 15 minutes down and dirty. And then Mondays at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is my new audio show with my co-host, Laura Bayshore. And it's called The B Show, where we drink coffee and talk about career trends.
We have a
and
comment.
that's they're both half-hour shows. Oh yeah, newsletters are hot. I don't
think
yet.
it's what. Yeah, I'm not sure what Showman's saying. It's now called newsletters, right? I think newsletters is the new feature.
Articles are not called newsletters. Those are two different things. Articles still live like on your profile. Newsletters are super hot. We were inundated with them, so I didn't start mine. I plan on starting it. The thing with a newsletter is that you have to be dedicated to it. So you need a title, you need the frequency, and you need to produce it. Whether it's, I'm subscribed to a few. Some are weekly, some are monthly. So I know for myself, writing is not my favorite thing, right? I'm dyslexic. So like writing, it takes me a little longer to get something written. And so I think I will do a monthly newsletter. But what's great about that is it's delivered right to the person's email. Not on LinkedIn. It's delivered to their email box, right? Their email inbox. So it's off of LinkedIn. So they get it. They can also read it on LinkedIn, but it goes straight to their email. So it's not going to get lost in notifications or news feed there. You do have to get people to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
You can subscribe directly on LinkedIn. Is that what you're saying?
So you subscribe directly on LinkedIn to someone's newsletter. The way you get subscribers to your newsletter is you sit and invite them. You do a post announcing it to the world. Hey, I'm doing a newsletter on how to go live. I'm going to be sharing these tips. I'm going to be answering these types of questions. And then you do a post to get that top of mind. And then you sit and invite people to subscribe. So it's a little time consuming, but it can pay off big.
Can you have multiple newsletters? Like if you have different topics?
That is a great question. I do not know.
Yeah.
Who wants to have multiple newsletters?
Well,
that's a lot of
Tim,
work.
do you?
Well, no, I mean, it's one of my problems with LinkedIn because I tend to do lots of different things poorly, some would argue. So it's always like, well, where do I put LinkedIn? Do I put it on the travel side, or do I put it on like self-publishing, or do I put it like the author side? Or
you can list all of that on your profile, but you can have a company page that is the Tim Lewis Company.
Yeah.
And under
there
that,
is one for this show, which I used to post clips on, and I haven't posted clips on for ages. I might actually post this whole show up onto that showcase.
Yeah,
page.
but you can have like a company page and then have a, I think it's called a showcase page.
Yeah.
So if you have a publishing company, but you also do live shows, you could have like what's called a showcase page. So that's where you put like that division of your company.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got all of them, but nobody ever listens. Nobody ever does it.
You have to sit and invite people to your company page.
Yeah.
People typically don't stumble across it.
Yeah.
But you can invite, I forget the number. Is it 100 people a month? You get 100 invitations. So sit there and use those every month because they go away. It's not like you collect them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can invite 500. It's 100 per month. So I actually sat and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get my company page, Mary Fain Brandt Coaching and Consulting, in case you want to follow it. And I sat and I sent like 10 invitations and I had like 8 people accept it. People generally want to help you. I write a monthly newsletter on parenting. That's great. How many subscribers do you have? Is this a new newsletter? Have you been doing it since they launched them? You do have to sit and invite people. And that's the thing, even for the audio event, you have to invite people. You don't really find audio events easily. And you have to put, if you're doing an audio event, you have to put the words LinkedIn audio event in the title so it can be found. It's searchable then.
Oh, okay.
Weird. That's why when you see mine, it says LinkedIn audio event, because you have to have it in there so that it can be found.
It catches it. That makes sense to me. I'm pondering this whole newsletter thing because it takes just as much time. It probably takes more time adding to your list on MailChimp or whatever avenue you use. So focusing.
I think that you write it right on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I had the idea many years ago, and I've never got around to doing this, of you write one piece of content for your newsletter or your subscriber list, and then a week later you put it on your blog, so you're not having to keep rewriting the same bit of content.
Repurposing. The only thing, like if you write, if you write a blog on your website and then you copy that and you put it on LinkedIn, they don't like that, right? So Google and LinkedIn are like best friends, and the algorithm. So if you have,
I'm not sure that's true. That used to be the case, but I'm sure I had a conversation with someone.
Can you find out for us? Can you get back to us on that? Because I would love to just put some of my blogs right up on LinkedIn as an article, right? Yeah. But you can write a blog and chop it up and use pieces of it for content over on LinkedIn. Oh, that's great. 500 subscribers. I think that is wonderful. Congratulations.
We've had Shoma on the show before, but maybe we should get her back as a LinkedIn expert.
I know. We should have Shoma. She's a parenting coach, and she's been featured in Forbes. So she has a lot of things to teach. Really interesting.
Yeah. So a newsletter is really good for her. She has a specific audience, right? And I think 500 subscribers on a newsletter, I think that is a wonderful, because it's not all about numbers. Like, oh, do you need 10,000 connections on LinkedIn to be successful? No. Do you need 10,000 views on a post to hit, to get that ROI? No, those are views. You need, how many new clients a month can you take on, Tim? I know if I had 6 VIP clients a month, that's my done and dusted. We get it done and dusted in 4 hours. That's that'd be my cap. Like
Yeah.
6 new clients a month.
Yeah.
I would be.
No, I mean
happy.
that's why I do mostly product stuff if I can. But yeah, no, I mean I think I'll struggle with 2 or 3 new ones a month. So
Yeah. I want to ask a couple specific questions before we kind of close this out. Should nonprofits be on LinkedIn? Is that important?
Yes.
Should people who are coaching be on LinkedIn? Tell us the value of, we think of LinkedIn as specifically like hardcore business or recruiting or that. Why should nonprofits be on there? Why should coaches be on there? Why should people building networks be on there?
Well, nonprofits for sure, for that visibility factor. I mean, you've got over 800 million users, subscribers on LinkedIn. I mean, I always joke that I just want like 0.0001% of that and I'll be set. So for a nonprofit, it doesn't cost any money to get on LinkedIn. Why would you not be on LinkedIn and share about your nonprofit? Because it's human beings over here on LinkedIn. They're human, right? We like to give back. I'm a big person of, I believe in giving back. And I actually found, so I do LinkedIn Local here in Arizona, and we give back to a local nonprofit when we do our event. I found the nonprofit on LinkedIn, OCJ Kids, who helps foster kids. The gentleman, I interviewed him, he came to the event, and we collected like 25 suitcases for him.
Wow.
So, and I had 3 people reach out that want his number because they want to help. So there's your real life. That happened in January. So hello, you want more visibility, you want more donations, you want more people to volunteer and help out, you need to be on LinkedIn. And then you said coaches, like career coaches.
Yeah.
Hello. Most people, my career clients, I would say 60% of them come from LinkedIn directly.
Yeah.
The way my profile is written, it's written to speak to those job seekers. So career coaches, video coaches, anyone that's in a business should be on LinkedIn to build your network, right? And give to, hey, it's Beth. Hey, Beth. Hopefully I get to, I saw her at Social Media Marketing World, and hopefully we'll get to meet up in a couple weeks here in Arizona.
Yeah.
So coaches, sports coach. Okay, here's the thing. In San Diego, a colleague and friend, Neil, he does this very specific stretching for your muscles. It's actually a workout. He's done it for me for my knees and stuff. And like you're thinking stretching, that's no big deal. I'm talking muscle stretching. You're sweating at the end. He is on LinkedIn. He got on LinkedIn. He came to one of my classes, in-person classes, like 6 years ago, and he posts on LinkedIn. Not every week, but he posts. He's, think about it, business professionals. We're sitting in our chairs. We're sitting there going, what's this guy do? Wait, he can relieve my back pain? Probably not where you would think you would find someone, but he finds his, higher clientele over here on LinkedIn. Those professionals, those C-suite, like, yes, please stretch out my back and my knees.
That makes sense. As you're sitting in your chair working, you're like, actually, I need him.
Yeah. And it's intense. He's in San Diego. He's amazing. So I would say almost everyone needs to be on LinkedIn. I go to Facebook to buy, what do I buy? I used to buy mascara on Facebook. I'm not jumping over on LinkedIn to buy my beauty products. Let's be real, right? I'm on Facebook or Instagram to buy that. Yeah. Actually, I did buy makeup from a Facebook like sponsored ad, right? But I'm not looking for that over on LinkedIn. So it depends on what you're selling, whether you should be on LinkedIn. If you're selling makeup, I'm going to say you're not going to sell makeup over on LinkedIn, but maybe you still, here's what 2020 taught us. We don't know what's going to happen. So why would you not go on LinkedIn today and build a network that can support you now and in the future, should you have to pivot? 2020 taught us to be ready, and more people reach out like, oh my gosh, I need to build a network, Mary. Yeah, you should have been building that network.
Yeah. Well, the last book I wrote some years ago, despite being known for writing, was on social media networking. And I found this statistic which amazed me from the US Bureau of Labor, that for every job opportunity that's open, 60% were jobs where only 60% where the recruiter did not already know the person,
The
who was doing it.
candidate.
And actually, it's even worse than that, because now that was 60% where the job was advertised, and it was like there was a recruitment process. The other 40% was where they already knew the person, they just gave them the job. Of that 60%, half of them ultimately went to somebody they already knew. So that's why LinkedIn is important. And
they say, your network is golden, that your network is your net worth, and that sounds corny. It really does, you guys. I hate that saying, but it's kind of true. Your network, Tim, social media marketing world, Tim, Amanda, Fiona, all of you guys, Christelle, I got to meet you this year. But your network, people in your network lead you to your next opportunity, whether it's a job or a client or a speaking opportunity, whatever that is. That's why I created that 3C method: connect, cultivate, convert. Convert means to opportunity, not necessarily clients. Convert to your next opportunity through your connections on LinkedIn.
Brilliant. Chioma says to Tim, "Thank you for your book, Tim."
Okay.
That's nice. So nice. Beth, I'm just saying hi. I didn't say hi. Okay, Mary, where can our friends find you online?
Let's think about that. What platform should I send people to?
Reddit?
I know.
Reddit.
LinkedIn. You can follow me over on LinkedIn. I have my connect button off because it does help cut down on the spam. There's your pro tip. So I'm very selective of who I let in. But if you're watching this show, send me a note. I will accept you. In the meantime, you can follow me and just connect with me over on LinkedIn, and let's start a conversation. I want to learn about you. What do you do? And who do you know that I need to know? And who's in my network that you need to know? It's all about cultivating those relationships.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. For some reason, I got distracted listening to your exciting thing and forgot to have the title set up. But
that's good thing, then.
It's a long running thing on this show. I'm terrible at the end of the show. I can always don't know what to say or how to finish the show.
So we kind of have a theme though, Tim. Tim says every time, I don't know what to say, so we're just going to close out.
Oh, so that is your closing. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to end the show, so we'll just say goodbye.
Who am I? What am I doing here? Goodbye, everybody.
Mary, thank you so much. Chioma, Beth, thank you. Everyone watching, we love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
This is terrifying for me.
I've made more money in the last 3 years than I did in the previous 7.
It's cliche shit,